What if you would like a wireless Apple CarPlay or wireless Android Auto in your car, but you don't want an extra screen in front of you, kinda in your field of view, and you would like it completely uninvasively, completely unintrusively, and you would like all of this goodness to come up on your built-in car screen of your infotainment system, whatever that infotainment system is, if you're happy with your screen. What if that is the case? Well, I have a solution for you today, my friends, because this video is very, very fortunately sponsored by Carlinkit systems and by their very lovely, very tiny, very cute, I'm gonna say, wireless adapter that is not requiring any installation. It's a plug and play system that I'm going to talk about more in this video. I'm going to tell you more about it, and then I'm going to also, towards the end of this video, compare it to what I've so far experienced with Carpuride system, and I will also highlight kind of to you as a bonus of what's good about each one of these. It's not a detailed, very in-depth comparison video. I can produce one for you if you would like me to. Let me know in the comments down below. But this is going to be a bonus if you stay a little bit closer to the end of this video, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about one versus another. So let's zoom in on this. What I like about this, and my wife, by the way, loves this. My wife loves this. What I like about this, doesn't require an installation, doesn't require any contraptions, doesn't get into your field of view. You just get it out of the box, you plug it in with the cables. There are two cables included in this lovely box. It is a USB-C port that is over here to USB-C, and another cable is USB-C to USB-A, normal USB kind of, yeah? So depending on what your car has, how you want to connect it. Operation of this is very, very simple. You are plugging it into your car, you are turning on the engine, obviously, so that the system fires up and you can see that the lights came on over here and it is alive. You finding the Bluetooth of this little box on your phone, pair it with the car when it asks you to, and then magically you will see on your infotainment screen, when the car is on, you will see the button of Apple CarPlay or Android Auto active. At that point in time, obviously, you can press that button and lovely Google Maps are coming up for me, or for you it would be Apple CarPlay interface. I don't have it here in my Haval H6 to demonstrate it to you. It's as simple as that. As far as performance of this box is concerned, it's comparable to the other products on the market right now in the modern day and age. They are all relatively fast, responsive, and I think the only thing that can slow you down is your phone, literally your phone. If your phone is fast enough in terms of locating GPS, if there are no other issues, you should have no issues in terms of seeing that projected properly on your screen, on your infotainment screen, front and center over here. So it's as simple as that. It's relatively is the keyword, inexpensive. And overall, I very much like it. I very much like it. I just received this product. It doesn't require too much of an extensive testing to explain to you exactly what it does. One thing to point out is that obviously this thing doesn't have, because it doesn't have a screen of its own, there is also a process to get to its settings and to other kind of stuff, which is also very, very simple. It's included in the instruction manual here with this thing, but I can explain it to you very simply. You just simply type in the IP address that's given to you here above, type in that address into your mobile phone browser, yeah, as if you are trying to get to a web page, yeah. Obviously your car needs to be started, this thing needs to be connected when you do that, and just a very simple kind of settings screen is going to come up where you could check for updates of the firmware, other kind of things with this thing. It's sort of relatively self-explanatory, and that is how you get to the settings of this little baby item, let's call it. What can I also say about this? What is particular about it? Well, and that's why we are slowly moving towards the promised kind of very light touch comparison to what I'm using my Carpuride CarPlay system for versus this. Well, Carpuride system comes on the screen, the separate screen obviously dedicated to Carpuride system comes on automatically when I come into the car, and it automatically connects everything, and I have my controls of Haval H6, I have my seat heating, I have my air conditioning, I have my other driving modes and everything available to me on the main screen, and my maps are coming up in that dedicated screen. Over here, maps are not going to come up automatically because it understands the system is smart enough. It understands that it competes with basically other controls on the same screen. So you have to understand that when you chose not to have extra real estate occupied by an extra screen, you are also sort of, well, then you have to prompt it and say, okay, I want Android Auto. I want Apple CarPlay now. Thank you very much. Press the button. Yeah. That may be that extra step, and that non-fully automated kind of setup. It might be something for you to consider if you would rather have a screen that sort of straight away does its thing. Yeah. With that being said, obviously, and I admit to it, something like Carpuride requires a little bit of a contraption here, requires a little bit of extra item in your field of view, while this, you plug it into the USB-A port of your car, you tuck it into some bottom shelf there that in Haval H6, fortunately, there are plenty of spaces, and you never see it again, for the lack of a better word. And it's just there somewhere, nothing extra is here. My wife loves it because of that exact reason. She always says to me, Dimitri, do you have enough screens? and yeah, like I said, it was funny at first, and then I was like, whatever. And my friends, I will not lie to you. So my wife is going to use this in her MG ZST, and she loves the idea of it. She's attached to it, and I'm very, very grateful to Carlinkit Systems. That's why I recommend again a product. I think it's a cool product. I think it's great. I think for some people that will satisfy like 90% of your needs. For me, I am sticking with Carpuride CarPlay system because I want an extra screen. Yeah, I'm weird like that. I like dedicated screens for dedicated things, especially if I am not in a fully analog car that gives me all these analog classic kind of switches for air conditioning, the knobs and gauges and stuff. Yes, there are a few analog buttons here in the Haval H6, of course. I don't think that these products are competing with each other. I think these products are serving their own individual purposes, and I'm so far, with a very short amount of time that I spent with this baby thing, I'm very impressed. I think they packed a lot of smarts into this lovely thing. And Carpuride is, again, for a different audience, the ones who want an extra screen. That's it. That's about it. That's why they're not competing. They're both good in their own way. Final thing that I'm going to say to you, this thing does not contain Apple CarPlay or Android Auto in it. What I mean by that, it's if your car has no Android Auto and no Apple CarPlay somewhere there in the electronics, this thing is not creating it for you. It's not like, it's not going to suddenly give you Android Auto or suddenly give you Apple CarPlay. All it does, it simply enables Android Auto and Apple CarPlay software that's already in your car for wireless connection. So requirement for this thing to work, and that is very important to understand, requirement for it to work is that your car already needs to support wired Apple CarPlay or wired Android Auto. Then it makes it wireless. Are we clear? Very, very important. If your car has nothing, this thing is not going to give it to you. It's cheaper and smaller for a reason. It simply is giving you a wireless connection to the system. That's already there. Very, very critical to understand this. Yeah. So that is very, very, very important. And if, of course, like I already said, and if your car is old, you have none of those smarts inside of the car. If your screen is busted, my friend, back to Carpuride you go, because I don't know of better system still. So I hope you understand this. But if your car has Apple CarPlay, has Android Auto, but you don't want to connect these wires, your wires disconnect, reconnect, like it was happening in my MG HS, like it was happening in this Haval H6 intermittently. If you hate that, because I did, then something like this is freaking amazing. Okay, before I wrap up this video, I hope you found this useful, and I hope this gives you something cheaper, perhaps, than Carpuride, but it's slightly cheaper, more competitively priced, but it also gives you less features, yeah, with its own little cute box. I really am a big fan. My wife is a big fan so far, like very early user. If we find out something more about this, specifically Carlinkit wireless adapter, we're going to talk to you again, and by we I mean me and my wife by the proxy of me to you. But so far, yeah, I think that it would serve certainly the needs of some people. If you appreciated this little video, again, please give it a like so that more people can see it. Real owners, not like, yes, sponsored in this particular case, not paid for this video by the brand, but provided a free product. So it's and I think it's a good product. Again, to point out, I don't promote bad products or something that I don't think works. I always test it first. And in this particular case, I do think that it will satisfy a lot of you. I hope you liked the video. Subscribe for more car reviews of what we do. We don't do primarily reviews of electronic products, but because it's a car-related product, I welcome collaboration from the companies, and I think that me being honest with you always about my car reviews and this kind of stuff helps someone in my audience as well. Thank you for watching. I'll talk to you next week about something else cars related. Goodbye for now.